This recording is being done the week of Palm Sunday, and we've just seen the news on the news of the terrible demonstrations there have been in my home city, Bristol. It kind of makes me ashamed almost to be Bristolian, to see the violence and the hate that I've seen in the crowd towards the police, the way they attacked the police station and set the police vans on fire, and everything that they did was really very difficult to watch for me. And it put me in mind a little bit, or reminded me a bit about how being in a crowd can completely change what you do. You see, this Sunday coming is Palm Sunday. And on Palm Sunday, we read in the Bible the account of how Jesus enters Jerusalem on the back of a donkey, and the crowds line the streets, and they put their cloaks down on the ground, and they put palm branches down, and that's what's called Palm Sunday, and they walk. Jesus goes into Jerusalem to these crowds cheering and shouting, "Hosanna! Hail to the King of the Jews! Hail to the King of Kings!" And it seems like it's a triumphant entry into Jerusalem. That's the crowd. And yet just a week later, that same crowd is looking at Jesus in front of Pontius Pilate, and they are screaming, "Crucify him, crucify him, release Barabbas, crucify him." Those same people probably are doing that same thing. They've switched from "Hail to the King of the Jews" to "Crucify him." And today what I really want us to consider is how much an influence a crowd has on our behaviour. The people in Bristol, the huge majority of those people in Bristol, I would say, are normal, decent people who wouldn't dream of doing what they were doing in that moment. The stuff that they did in that moment, the things that they did. And I'm not going to say what they are, because some of them are actually quite reprehensible. And those same people wouldn't dream of doing it if they were on their own. It is the power of the crowd that did it for them. Though the truth of the gospel is that actually each one of us have a responsibility for ourselves. We have to take responsibility for our own actions. When Jesus died for us, he did die for the whole world, yes, but he died for you individually. And what that means is you cannot hide in the crowd. You cannot say, just because I go to church, that makes me a Christian, because I'm part of that crowd. What it means is that each one of us must accept Jesus for ourselves. We must take our own individual responsibility for our faith and follow our own faith and say, I will not just follow the crowd, I will follow Jesus on my own and take my own responsibility to do it. It's kind of a bit of a sad thought for this week, and I know that this will be going out like in 2 or 3 weeks' time, when we've had chance to think about and reflect on what happened in Bristol during this week. But it's a heavy heart I have this week, and I'm praying for the police officers who are injured and hospitalised and have broken bones. One of the police officers I know has got punctured lungs and stuff because he was dragged into the crowd and kicked and stamped on. Normal people did that. Don't allow the crowd to influence you. Don't follow it. Follow Jesus.